Let me start by saying something very clearly. I am not rich, I'm not sitting on millions, I'm not recording this from a penthouse overlooking the city. I'm just your friendly ex-degenerate who's been saving consistently, learning how money works, and starting to invest, and trying to build something long term, even though right now my business isn't profitable yet. And honestly, that's exactly why I need to talk about this. Because most people who glamorize getting rich fast, they're either lying, selling something, or haven't lived with money long enough to understand what it does to people. So getting rich fast does not fix your life. For most people, it actually destroys it, just quietly enough that no one talks about it. And I think we've all imagined it. One big win, one viral moment, one crypto play, and one business that just works. And suddenly, like, all your stress will disappear. You're totally free, you can breathe, but here's the part people don't want to admit. Most people don't actually want wealth, they want the relief. They want to get out of survival. So the relief from pressure, the relief from comparison, the relief from feeling behind, and from having to think about money at all. And fast money feels like the shortest distance to that relief. And that's where the danger starts every time. I'm not speaking as someone who's made it. I'm speaking as someone who's watching the process from the inside. So I'm watching how hard it is to actually build real skills, how boring consistency can actually be, how long it takes before anything pays off, and grinding without any type of return at first, and how uncomfortable it is to feel delayed gratification. I'm also watching how many people around me or people I see don't budget, don't understand compounding, don't know where their money actually goes, think investing is just gambling, and think wealth is a personality trait instead of an actual system. And that's very important, because if someone like that suddenly gets rich fast, they're not going to become free, they're going to become exposed. And I truly believe that money doesn't change people, it just reveals who they already were. So if you're financially illiterate with 3,000, you'll be financially illiterate with 3 million if that doesn't change. And if you're impulsive with small purchases, you'll be reckless with the big ones. If you don't know how to delay gratification, money just gives you more ways to destroy your future faster. And this is the part almost no one understands. Lifestyle inflation doesn't feel irresponsible, it feels earned. So there's people who are like, I deserve this, like I earned this. So new income is a new baseline, so a better apartment just becomes normal. Nicer car becomes reasonable. Eating out constantly becomes convenient. Subscriptions are gonna pile up even further. Fixed costs quietly explode. And suddenly you're making more money than ever, but some people will feel just as trapped, sometimes even more. And the harsh truth is, if most people got rich fast today, they would be broke again within a few years. And not because they're bad people or because they're lazy, but because no one taught them how money flows, how money compounds, how expenses scale, how risk actually works, how boredom is part of stability. And fast money skips the education phase. It skips all over the good lessons. And when you skip the education phase, you pay tuition and losses. And when money comes too fast, your identity cannot keep up. Our brains are not built to handle sudden status changes and sudden freedom, sudden options, and sudden expectations. So what happens? We numb ourselves, we overspend, we chase better highs, we feel strangely empty. And because the thing we thought would give us meaning didn't. And we see this pattern all the time with people who get rich. With my job, I've worked with millionaires. I've even mentioned in one of my last videos, I worked with someone who was a billionaire, which is absolutely crazy to even think. And for context, I work with people struggling with substance abuse. So when they come to us, it's not like they're on a winning streak. It's not like they're doing too well, you know? And again, I've worked with like lawyers, doctors, and millionaires, business owners, everything. And some of them got money way too fast, and that's actually what got them in that position. And like I said, we see this all the time from people who are rich, and they'll talk about being miserable still. And a common denominator we see in some of these people is they got rich fast. Slow money is the most important thing. It's going to force you to learn skills. You got to build that patience, develop the discipline, understand the trade-offs, respect the risk, and it builds internal structure that you can't get elsewhere. So when money does come, you don't collapse under it. So right now, I'm saving consistently, I'm investing cautiously, I'm building a business that hasn't fully paid me yet, and I'm learning delayed gratification in real time when it comes to finances. And it's not glamorous, it's not viral, and it's not exciting, but it's stable. And stability is what allows money to actually help you instead of hurting you. And the goal isn't getting rich fast. The goal is becoming the type of person who can hold wealth without losing themselves. And it's going to take time. I know it's going to take a lot of time for me. And there's other guys in my niche who are on the same journey. They're a bit farther ahead, I will say, but they're understanding the same process. And they're an inspiration to all of us as well. And fast money will ruin people. And it's not because money is bad, but because most people just aren't ready for it. So if you're watching this and you're not rich yet, that's completely okay. If you're building slowly, that's not failure. If you're learning how money works, you're ahead of more people than you actually think. Trust me. Because wealth without wisdom is just going to be temporary, and slow growth builds something fast that money never can. a life that doesn't fall apart when the numbers change. And I'm telling you, it's people who get money fast and they don't suddenly feel powerful, they feel lost. Because when money removes your external pressure before you've built internal direction, you're left alone with yourself. And most people have never had to sit with themselves without urgency. So work gave them structure, bills gave them a purpose, deadlines gave them momentum. Fast money can remove all of that overnight, and if you don't know who you are without struggle, you might panic. And struggle isn't romantic, it isn't something to glorify either, but it is something that shapes you. Like, struggle will teach you what actually matters, what you can tolerate, what you're willing to sacrifice, what kind of life you actually want, not just what looks good to others. Fast money skips that entire refinement process, so when people finally have freedom, they don't know what to do with it. And something people don't mention enough, there's a completely different skill to actually holding money rather than earning it. So holding money means not upgrading everything at once, not proving anything to anyone, not chasing status, not turning every want into a need. Most people never practice that skill, and so when they suddenly have money, they leak it. And most people were never taught how money actually works. We didn't get taught that in school. A lot of us didn't get taught that at home or not anywhere. Some of us were lucky enough to hear it through some of these videos and the people in my niche, or maybe through a friend or family member, but a lot of us didn't really get to hear it. So our financial decisions have been emotional. Money becomes a way to cope, a way to signal worth, a way to feel secure, a way to escape discomfort. And that's a dangerous foundation to be on. Because when money is emotional, it's unstable. And bad habits don't disappear when you get rich either, they scale. And again, I've seen it in my job firsthand. So impulsive spending becomes luxury spending. Avoidance becomes outsourcing everything. Lack of discipline becomes chaos. Money doesn't fix habits, it amplifies them. For example, I've actually worked with people that didn't just come in for substance abuse, they also had a shopping addiction, like crippling shopping addiction, like something that on a scale you haven't seen before. Along with the substance abuse, it's pretty scary when you actually see it like firsthand. And there's another aspect of this I'm gonna touch on. I'm going to explain why people who win financially often feel worse than before, and no one warns them ahead of time. Fast money can change how people treat you. Suddenly people are going to listen more, people expect more from you, people assume things about you, people resent you quietly. And if your identity isn't solid and you don't have that foundation, you start performing. You become the version of yourself that money created and not the version that we might have chose. And that can be extremely exhausting. This might sound strange to some people, but I'm genuinely grateful I'm not rich yet, because I'm learning patience, budgeting, delayed gratification on a bigger scale, how boring consistency really is sometimes. And I'm learning how it feels to build with no applause. And that's important, because if money comes later, I'll already know how to live without it controlling me. And there's a big lie of once I'm rich. So people say, once I'm rich, I'll relax, I'll be confident, I'll be happy, I'll finally start living. And money doesn't just start your life, it's just going to remove excuses. And that's terrifying if you're not ready for that. And when success comes slowly, like, your self-worth grows with it. And when success comes really fast, your self-worth lags behind it. So people feel like frauds or trapped or empty, and they thought money would add meaning. Instead, it exposed the lack of it. And people who tend to chase fast money and make it their whole image, their whole personality and everything, like, they're actually chasing something completely different. And realizing this early can maybe save you years of regret. It's not wealth. People want the safety, control, respect, escape, proof. People want to be out of survival, and money feels like a shortcut to that. But shortcuts collapse when the foundation isn't there. Slow progress is humiliating. No one claps and no one notices and no one cares, but it builds something rare, and that's the self-trust. And self-trust matters more than money ever will, because without it, money just becomes noise. And most money advice, especially on YouTube and social media, comes from people selling courses, people who are already rich, people who forgot what it felt like to start, and they're just completely out of touch with reality. Or they're just straight up lying, and that advice skips the emotional reality. The boredom, the doubt, the waiting, the uncertainty. And that part doesn't look sexy at all, so they're not going to advertise it. And that's where most people quit. And the real flex is not getting rich fast. The real flex is actually sleeping well, not stressing over every expense, not proving anything, having direction even without money. That's actual freedom, and it comes before wealth, not after. And that matters a lot, because overall, fast money just ruins people because it arrives before they're ready. But that slow money is going to change people because it makes them ready first. So if money shows up in your life, you won't need it to save you. You'll already be standing. So if you're not rich yet, you're not late. If your progress feels slow, it's probably real. That's completely normal. If you're building skills, habits, and discipline quietly, you're doing the part that most people want to skip. I'm in the trenches myself still, and Again, it's slow and it's grueling sometimes, but we're heading towards the right direction. And that's what matters most. It's giving me clarity and direction. So keep going, keep sticking with it. I'm gonna keep documenting my journey on here as well. Shout out to all the other people in this niche who have gathered a nice little following, and they're giving out free game to everyone because you're changing lives, and it's changed mine as well. If this resonated with you, it's probably because you're not chasing fast money, but you might be chasing a life that doesn't fall apart when things finally work, and that's rare, and it's 100% worth protecting. I hope everyone's having a great holiday season. I think this video is coming out maybe before or after Christmas, we're gonna see, but again, I appreciate every one of you, and I hope everyone's having a great holiday season. So with that being said, I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.